Well, here we are, another Banger TV podcast. But it's not a normal one, is it, Brad?
I'm assuming that's because I'm here.
Hey, there you go.
DK?
Yeah, it's Brad. So DK is, off in South America, I think, right now.
Last I saw Colombia or something.
Colombia, yeah, I'm sure DK will find some stuff to enjoy in Colombia. And so we've got Brad coming in to hang out.
I am here.
What's up?
I just bought some new shoes. Last night I was selling merch for Black Bear. Got a shirt on. It's pretty cool. It's like an R&B rap guy, but hey, it was cool. The production was awesome.
Let me hear about these shoes. What kind of shoes did you buy?
All black Vans. Got it from Journeys,
What's
standard.
Journeys?
Store in the mall. They sell shoes and socks and kind of like skate culture adjacent.
Skate culture, but they sell it any way you want it?
I want it that way.
It's a Journey.
Sorry, I threw
Journey.
a Backstreet Boys reference because I'm wearing like R&B and that.
Yeah. I threw a Journey reference because despite what people think, "Any Way You Want It" is the best Journey song. Fight me.
Don't stop believing that, Blaine. Don't.
All right, so we're catching you also before you go on tour. You got a little tour coming up.
Yes, I do. I have two little tours. One little tour and one slightly less little tour.
A small and a medium.
That's right. Actually, so tonight I'm going to see Outer Heaven, Misery Index, Ulthar, and Nails, and then tomorrow I'm seeing Full of Hell, Genocide Pact, and Primitive Man. Then the next day I leave to Ottawa. The next day tour starts with this pop punk band Bearings, just Ontario, Quebec, quick, like just under 2 weeks. Home for 5 days. Then I go to Europe for like just over 3 weeks with Frontier.
Cool. Have you been to Europe before?
I haven't. No.
Ooh,
yeah.
First time.
Yeah. As soon as like they were like, "Do you want to come?" and they were like, "What? Like, we'll pay for stuff." And I was like, "Is that even a question?" I like, of course I want to. So
yeah. Do you have any Europe questions for me? I lived in Europe for a little while.
You lived in Europe. Is it hard to eat vegan in Europe? Because I've heard mixed things.
Wildly varying from country to country.
Right.
Like Germany, you're going to go to Berlin and it's going to be a goddamn hippie commune everywhere. The UK is like amazing. London's like maybe the best place to be vegan outside of like New York. But then like Spain and France, they're kind of a little bit more like, what do you know?
We have cheese and wine and
you're like,
croissants.
I'm vegan, and they're like, cool, yeah. This just has butter, cheese, and bacon in it. There's no meat on it. And you're like, what?
All right, well,
yeah, Paris. It might have changed a little bit, but yeah, Paris was tough. But a hot vegan tip for anyone ever going to Europe. You have to go to a vegan store and get this cheese. It's called Vegusto. Is the name of the brand. It's the best cheese. It's like a cheese you can slice with a knife and just eat on its own.
Okay.
It's like actually tastes good. It's not like just...
only good when it's melted and buried under other things.
Yeah. Get Vegusto. Anyone listening, if you ever go to Vegusto, if you eat Vegusto, it's so good.
Okay, noted.
It's only available in Europe. It's Swiss. And the Swiss, they are known for their cheeses.
And their bobsled team.
And their chocolate. Oh! Another hot Europe vegan tip. This is the European vegan podcast now.
Yeah.
Dark chocolate M&M peanuts in Europe, because Europeans have a higher standard for what's good chocolate or not. The dark chocolate ones in Europe are vegan. M&M's peanuts.
I will be purchasing those as well then. Vegusto and dark chocolate peanut M&Ms are order number 1 and 2.
You can just eat that the whole time. That's what I would do.
Come home with scurvy, but feeling great about my trip.
Hey, I'm sure there's vitamin C in all those energy drinks you're crushing.
They probably have some weird energy drinks there. What is it, Iron Brew in Scotland?
It's not really an energy drink, but Iron Brew's pretty good. It's kind of just more like a pop that, for some reason, because it's Britain, they're like, it's a pop, but there's an active guy on it. And you're like, what does it have to do with activity? And they're like, it's Britain. Drink soda when you're being active.
All right.
People eat terribly there. What's your definitive tier list for energy drinks?
Okay,
you don't have to get into specific flavors, like brands.
I mean, I gotta go into specific flavors because it depends based on that.
Okay,
so
the top 5.
Number 1, Red Bull coconut berry. It's like it might be my number 1 beverage ever. It might have like leaped over Dr. Pepper, which has been like longtime favorite. Not an energy drink, although I heard there is an energy drink Dr. Pepper, but I also heard it tastes kind of bad, which is disappointing. I'll have to try it sometime to find out. So that's number 1. Number 2, I gotta go with probably Rockstar, the fruit punch one. You can go either way. You can go full sugar, or you can go the one without sugar. I don't care. Whatever one is there and whatever one is cheaper, because they basically taste the same.
I like the like no sugar energy drinks where it's like, hey, let's pretend you care slightly about what you're putting in your body. It's like, we'll put a bunch of chemicals in there, but hey, watch the waistline.
That's right. So that's number 2. I'd say number 3. Number 3 is Peach Red Bull, which is like it was only available in America. It might be like discontinued. It might have just been like a seasonal flavor, but it tastes like the Tim Hortons peach drink, but
taurine,
carbonated, and yeah. So that's probably there. Number 4, probably gotta go with.
We seem to be running out of steam after number 3.
No, we'll go with the pear Red Bull. It's a sugar-free Red Bull, but it actually tastes like pears, which is fairly impressive because most things that say that they taste like something do not. If you had a watermelon candy that tastes anything like watermelon, I like it, but it doesn't taste like watermelon.
I was walking down the street yesterday, and Coffee Time had a sandwich board. Coffee Time, for those outside of Canada, is the coffee chain in Canada where people go to shoot up, predominantly. And there is a sign out front that just said watermelon juice, hot dog.
Were there prices on it, or that was all it said?
No, it just said watermelon juice, hot dog. And I was like, maybe they're advertising watermelon juice and a hot dog, but I like to think that gross hot dog water, but with like lemon juice, watermelon juice in it.
Yeah. Fred Durst is stoked.
Yeah.
All right, number 5. I'm gonna go with. This might actually go up higher, but I didn't think of it because it's not a traditional. But fuck it, I'm giving you the 5. You can place them in order however you want, except for the first 2. The last one will be the Monster. It's like they're like energy water. So I don't know what the fuck they call
clear
it.
The ones in the bottles, not
the ones in
cans.
the clear bottles. They kind of taste like melted down Freezies or some shit, which I'm down with. People tell me all the time, like, bro, just drink coffee. It's like, I'm not drinking this because I need caffeine or anything. I'm drinking this because I like the taste and it's free and sugar filled.
That's upsetting. It's upsetting. Have you ever eBayed those discontinued flavors?
No.
I've eBayed some weird food shit.
At one point, I was gonna eBay Oreo O's cereal before they brought it back here, and when it was only available in Korea, like the one that you could order stuff from, and it was only available there. So I was gonna order some boxes, but then before I finally talked myself into paying fucking $25 for a box of cereal, they brought it back in here. And now they have Golden Oreos cereal, but it's only in America, so hopefully we get that up here soon.
I eBay sometimes my favorite candy, which is the most metal candy you can get. It's a Nordic candy. They sell it in like Sweden and Norway and stuff. It's these skulls made out of black licorice, but instead of being covered in like crystallized sugar, they're just covered in salt. So it's just a black licorice salt skull.
My dad loves black licorice.
They're fucking primo.
I'm gonna buy those for him and be like, hey, this is where we cross paths. Your licorice, my metal. Here you go.
They're everyone else thinks they're gross. I'm the only person that likes them, I think.
Other than my dad, probably.
Yeah. And they're no gelin, so.
There we go.
Yeah. It's good shit.
Another European.
Hey, yeah. Oh, yeah. Dropping, hey, European vegan podcast.
That's right.
This is not the BangerTV podcast anymore. It's the Euro vegan podcast.
We've hijacked it.
Yeah. Hey, when this comes out, if you have any European vegan tips, hey, leave them in the comments.
Maybe we'll do episode 2.
Yeah.
Or
maybe you can just check in and like you can post reactions along the way.
But my reactions, I'll post them on like my Instagram, and then I'll just link the people back so that because otherwise you can just do a comment, but I could do a video reaction.
There you go.
So that's the plan.
Brad Seed.
Brad Seed.
Brad Seed.
I want to change it. I want to change it to just Brad Zorg because my last name's badass. But one, that's kind of confusing because that G in my name, Zorgdrager, is actually silent, but I don't really give a shit. But the main problem is I want consistency across the board, and some fucker took Brad Zorg on Twitter. And I think it must have been me with another email because who the fuck would put that? But I can't remember the password, and I tried.
And also, Brad Seed is like you gotta hang on to that until someone tries to buy it off you or something. I mean, like that's a pretty good one.
It is pretty good. Do you know what it's a reference to? Have I told you this before?
Bad. I mean, there's a bunch of songs called Bad Seed.
It's a band. Have you ever heard Title Fight? They're like a pop punk band in the hardcore scene, but then now they're like shoegazy. Anyway, before that, they used to be in a hardcore band called Bad Seed, and I honestly didn't really like them. At one point, my friends just thought it was funny. One time, they came up with it, and I thought it was funny. But for a while, my Twitter bio was, I don't even really like Bad Seed very much.
I think there's what's the band? There's a bigger band with a song called Bad Seed. So I'm
sure
they're like an indie rock band.
I'm sure there are many bands with the song name Bad Seed.
Yeah,
comment those below too, and I'll react to those.
I did not assume it was some fucking goddamn hardcore pop punk nonsense band that I'd never heard of when I saw your name. I was just like, tight name, one letter off, boom. What are we thinking? Should we do this call? Is it call time? All right. Well, we didn't mention that our guest. We
do have a guest. That's not me.
That's not you. We have two guests. I mean, Brad's like a guest like that crashes on the couch.
Yeah.
You're like, is this a guest? And it's like, kind of. He lives on the couch, but he's also been living on the couch.
Yeah, I moved in after you moved out of the Banger Hangar. So.
All right. So hey,
I don't have a job anymore.
This is a Brad Seed connection. So why don't you intro our guest?
So our guest is Chase Mason. He does vocals. Can't say sings. He does vocals in Gatecreeper, and he plays bass in Spirit Adrift. I followed him on the internet, and then I met him on tour in Phoenix. We played a venue he was working at. Then once upon a time, the Gatecreeper stayed in my mom's basement. I was like, all right, here are your options, dude. You can stay at my house in Toronto. It's closer, but it's in Toronto, so I don't have a lot of space. It's my house, so obviously I'm not rich or we can drive an hour on the way to the next venue, which is always a good thing. You get a little bit of the drive out of the way, so you don't have to do the whole thing later. We can stay at my parents' basement. There's more comfortable places to stay, more space in general, and I bet you they will cook us food in the morning. And they did.
Hello?
Hey, Chase, it's Bradley calling. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks, man. I'm also here with Blaine from Banger as well. We're tag teaming the podcast as we tend to have two people and then a guest.
Cool, man.
What's up, dude? How you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. What are you up to right now?
We just got into New Jersey. We're playing in New York tomorrow, so we have a day off today. So we just came and visited some friends where we're staying at, and get to hang out a little bit before. This is nice because usually New York's stupid hectic, but we actually have some time to hang out.
Hell yeah. I'm seeing some of your friends tonight. Outer Heaven, Nails, you know.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that'll be a good time. I just told the story about when you guys stayed in my mom's basement, and that was the Nails Toxic Holocaust tour.
Yes. Yeah, where was that,
Lee's Palace, and then your next show was Detroit, and Kitchener was on the way, so we went and stayed in my mom's basement.
Oh yeah, that's true, yeah.
Speaking of moms, your mom was just in Decibel, was she not?
Yes, she was.
And she was talking about how you used to perform like little quote unquote concerts in your bedroom for your family.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, did you take any notes from that and apply it to your live show?
Well, when I was really young, my dad doesn't play music, but he's always been really into music, and he got me into the Beatles. And I would watch the Beatles movie Help every day, and I had a little fake small plastic guitar that I would pretend to be playing along to and sing along. So it was probably something like that. I probably was lip syncing or pretending to play some Beatles songs for my family, using my bunk bed as a stage.
Bottom bunk or top bunk?
Bottom bunk.
All right, I was about to say, how short were you?
I also have a supportive family for what I do, and it's a little, playing metal. I do stand-up comedy, and so sometimes my parents want to come and see me do stand-up, which is always a weird situation. Do your parents come out to shows sometimes?
They never have.
Oh no.
Actually, in the Decibel Metal Mothers, she was talking about how she prefers Spirit Adrift because it's a little bit more, I think, palatable for her.
Yeah.
Do you think it would throw you off having your mom watch you yell at a room full of people like that?
Yeah. I don't think that they would really enjoy it, and I wouldn't enjoy it either. So I'd rather just tell them about it later.
Yeah.
But you saw your brother recently. I saw a photo of two Mason mustaches going on in the photo. Did he come see you?
Yeah. I think I have three siblings, and I think they've all come to see at least one or the other band play.
Who do you think top 3 like mustaches of all time? Because you do have a very powerful mustache.
I don't know. I'm not like I don't. I guess I'm not like a mustache like facial hair fan. The story about my mustache is that I grew it because when we were touring with Gatecreeper a lot, I think I just have bad technique or bad form, and my lip kept on it would rub against the microphone, and my lip would get like all rubbed raw, and it would like be all red and just like almost look like a rash on my lip. So I was just like, I'm gonna grow a mustache. I'll have a little barrier.
So it's not a fashion mustache; it's a protective mustache.
All right.
It's a utility mustache.
Top 3 mustaches that I just came up with off the top of my head. We're gonna go with Hulk Hogan. We are gonna go with Bill from Mastodon. I think that's his name, Bill. And we are going to go with Ron Jeremy. That's my final answer. I don't know why they're the first 3 that popped into my head. After Chase, of course.
Right,
Chase is number 1. Chase is number 1.
Chase number 1.
Actually, going off this. Sorry, what was that?
Selleck comes up pretty often.
Tom Selleck, yeah. One that a lot of people don't think of that I've always loved, Carl Weathers, man.
Okay, yeah.
Powerful mustache in Rocky, Predator.
Right.
So you just asked top 3 mustaches. I actually have some top 3 questions here, and this actually ties into something that we were talking about before the phone call. Chase, I know you love the Red Bull. What are your top 3 Red Bull flavors?
All right, original, red, the cranberry, and blue, the blueberry. Those are just like the standard top 3. The peach one that came out recently, the peach nectarine, is really good.
Dan, that was one of Brad's too.
Okay, but so original, red, blue, those are my favorite all time. That's not going to change. Those are the standards because they make those all in the small can. I'm all about the can size. I really like the small can. I feel like that's the perfect serving size for an energy drink beverage. So the new ones, they don't make them in the small can. Like the peach one, it does it in the small can. If they start doing that, maybe it's going to bump one of the other 3 out.
Ooh.
But until then, that's my top 3.
So I tried to synthesize the peach one using a normal Red Bull and the peach drink from Tim Hortons, which kind of tastes similar. And I was, if you had actually come in here, I was going to do that on the podcast and have you try it. But I can tell, I was like, maybe I'll need his help deciding if it tastes that much like it. And it just really didn't. It was still good. It just wasn't the same. So now you know.
I would have tried it. I'm sure it would have been good.
Still good, just not the same as the packaged product, unfortunately.
There has, I think you've spoken a bit about this, but you guys are one of the bands that really seems to just nail merch. Do you think like that's part of the reason that guys like you and, when you think of like a lot of the kind of newer bands that are coming up, Power Trip, you guys all really kind of have a full kind of image where some bands don't consider that a part of ensuring that they're able to kind of be a band for a living. Do you think that's like more bands need to really kind of understand that nowadays that's how you can make a living doing this?
Yeah, absolutely. That's really important to me. I mean, I'm a big fan of visual art and, merch. Like I'm all about, I have way too many band shirts. So it comes from a place that it's something that I really like. And I do think it's important, whether it's like album art, shirts, flyers. It's important to, we're a very visual, society, especially now with social media, and you're scrolling through Instagram or whatever. Like, if something doesn't catch somebody's eye, or if you don't have like a kind of unified vibe going on, then you might get lost in the mix. So it's something that I take. I guess you could say I take it seriously, but it's just something that I'm really interested in. I do a little bit of graphic design myself, but I also really like to find other artists that I like, and be able to work with them in a way, it's almost like collaborative.
Yeah.
Like commissioning an artist that I like to do something for my band, is cool. It's a way to work with other artists and to kind of, do kind of like a curating.
Yeah. And
this is what we want for our band. I'm going to seek out outside help of people who are also on the same page or can help, contribute to that. So it is important. I'm glad that people I'm glad that you think so, that our merch is cool or whatever, because it is something I put a lot of thought into.
I think one thing that I thought was interesting when I saw Spirit Adrift the other day, you guys have the Divided by Darkness cover, but it's not done like a direct-to-garment full-color thing. It's kind of like where they do the screen printing and they break it down to like some of the primary colors. Blaine's actually wearing a shirt right that now for Cancer, Death Shall Rise. I think that almost like vintage kind of feel is coming back.
Yeah.
It's cool. I dig it. It's just different. It almost like if it wasn't official, it almost feels bootleggy, but in like the cool way.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And since we're talking art, I know the Sonoran Deprivation art, you guys did not want people. You did not want figures. You just wanted a landscape. What was the reason behind that decision?
I don't know. I think that for the certain style of like, painting, and I feel like as far as for Gatecreeper, like the album covers, there's like a very classic death metal look, mainly like Dan Seagrave, those full color paintings. If you look at those, this Dan Seagrave stuff, there's not really any people in it. There's not any like figures. And I think for a certain style, I think it looks way cooler if there's not a human element to it. I think sometimes if a human figure or something like that is placed in there, it kind of might look sort of weird. I don't know.
I also really love about the art the really tasteful is the word I always use for it, use of the logo, where it's like it's a color that kind of blends in with the background but still kind of stands out, that like kind of goldy color to it. It's like, it's always such a bummer when there's this gorgeous cover art and then there's just the band logo slapped on it like a sticker on top.
Speaking of, there is a problem where you go too far with that, and this is an album that I hold dear to my heart, and that the artwork's great, but the logo blends a little bit too much, and that is the last Tomb Mold album. The orange kind of really blends with the background, so you got to strike that balance.
I mean,
since you're so big on art and the merch, what's like in your T-shirts, what's like your favorite T-shirt that you have? Not one you've made, like one you have that you're like, oh man, I'm gonna wear this thing until it's like disintegrating on my body.
I buy all kinds of T-shirts. Like I buy bootleg T-shirts, but I do have a couple like original shirts.
Oh yeah.
I didn't own it originally, but I bought it. I have a really cool Entomb Left Hand Path, like an original.
Oh wow.
That has the album cover, and then the back has that classic picture with like the big cross, the band picture with the big cross in the background. But it's almost like you said, it's perfect. I'm going to wear this till I die. But also, I'm kind of scared to wear it. So I like it so much, and I'm afraid I'm going to like ruin it somehow. I'll like lose it, or like I'm going to rip it or stain it or something. So I bust it out on special occasions.
I had some of those as well. Yeah, just shirts that I'm just like, or even like just shirts that I've grown attached to, but I've kind of beaten the fuck out of them over the years. And then now I'm just like, bro, this has maybe 10 solid wears left in it. I can't wear it much more.
Yeah, I'm picky about shirt designs too. I mean, and I go into how I am with our own band's merch, but even for other shirts, like I'm really picky about back prints. Like usually on Gatecreeper shirts, 90% of the time I don't have any back prints. But like, say you see a shirt, it's like a black metal band or something, and like the front is cool, but then on the back it just has like a huge pentagram or something.
Yeah.
Like really stupid lyrics.
Yeah. I know the lyrics are always in like a terrible font. You're like, no.
So I just won't buy it. I'll be like, oh, I'm on like some online store. I'm like, oh, this shirt's cool. All right, let me check out the back. Oh, nope, not buying it. It's like I'm 32. Like I don't need to be like the edgy.
Yeah.
I don't need to be standing in line at Chipotle. The person behind me is like, what the fuck is on this dude's shirt? This dude is a fucking dude is a nerd. Like,
Yeah.
a pentagram.
I bought a while back a bleeding through shirt that I wanted when I was a kid, and I'm like, I'm never gonna wear this without something on like covering the back, because on the back it just says in giant impact font, "Fuck you forever." But I wanted this shirt since I was a kid, and I'm like, I'll just wear like a zip up, like something that zips up or buttons up on the back so you can see the front but you can't see the back. And then one time I wore it and I took the over top shirt off, and I went to Bloomers to get a bagel, and halfway on the way, I'm like, I'm a fucking asshole. Some parent's gonna see this with their little kid, and I'm gonna have to explain to the kid what that shirt meant. And I was really bummed out for the rest of the day. So I probably just shouldn't have bought the shirt, but hey, 15-year-old me needed to own that shirt.
I feel you. Yeah, back print's important.
The one time back print came in handy for me was it was like 7 or 8 years ago at a Maryland Death Fest, and Neurosis was playing. And for some reason, there was a really long stretch of time where Neurosis just didn't come to Canada. I don't know why. So it was like, oh man, this might be the only time I get to see Neurosis. And they were selling one shirt, and it had this weird like wolf hippie tree design on the front, but it just said Neurosis in the like font on the back. So I just bought the shirt, cut the Neurosis out of the back of the shirt, and then just stitched it onto another shirt, because I was like, I can't be wearing that on the front of the shirt. It doesn't even say Neurosis on the front of the shirt. I'm just taking Neurosis off the back and putting it on a normal shirt.
There you go.
Yeah, DIY merch.
So we were just speaking of art, and you may have low-key showed me the album art for the next Gatecreeper album.
Uh-oh. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, but I'm not saying anything more. I'm leaving it to him. Can you tell us anything about the next Gatecreeper album, or is that very tight-lipped?
Yeah. I mean, none of it's announced yet, so I can't really say much, but we do have a new record coming out in the fall. It's all done.
Ooh.
Just recorded it in April. And yeah, it's 10 songs. It'll be out on Relapse. And I think I'm excited for it, but there's not really can't really say much more than that.
Hey, that's more than enough, I think, to get people's appetites whet.
With an H in it.
Yeah, whet, like whetstone. Would is Red Bull the like, if you could genie wish grant any company to be kind of sponsoring you, would Red Bull definitely be the go-to?
Yeah. Red Bull. You know, I'm a very practical person. So if it was a company, it would be something that I already use and I need, or that it would be of very easy use.
Yeah, right.
If like Vans wants us to do something and they want to give us free shoes, since I buy a couple pairs of Vans every year.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Red Bull, drink Red Bull every day. Let's do it.
I'm surprised Red Bull's never come out with a campaign that, like, how many people do you think Red Bull helps in, like, sobriety? Red Bull is, like, one of, I think, like, the biggest unknown sponsors of, like, managing to stay sober on, like, tours or, like, just hanging out at like, parties and stuff.
Yeah. I'll be the poster boy for that.
Hey, there we go. Nice.
I've mentioned your name to Red Bull before. I got a bunch a couple days ago when you guys played it. I'm working on it, low key working on it. Hopefully it'll happen someday.
My Red Bull agent.
That's right.
There you go. Career's set up. All right, I think that's all the time we have. This was a hell of a lot of fun, man. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, of course. I'm sorry it didn't work out. I wish I could have came into the office, hung out with you guys, but tour life sometimes, I'm a moving target and on a runaway train.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? Your spirit is adrift, and it's managed to land here with us, right?
Appreciate it.
All right, Chase. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Have a good rest of your tour.
Yeah, you too. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Sounds good, man. See ya.
See ya. He started with it. He said he was a runaway train. That was I had a clear runway. He set me up.
Fair enough.
Well, hey, that's been hey, this was fun. This was fun. It's good, good to have you. You'll be sorely missed for the time you're gone.
But recorded some, low key recorded some reviews before I left, so people won't miss my face too much.
Yeah, you guys won't miss Brad. We'll just miss Brad. Yeah. And hey, we'll also be missing you. Until next time, this has been the BangerTV podcast.
Peace.